Okay, so we're going to cover 2-point perspective. Normally when we're drawing like a building, we start with a box. And right now this is just a very flat box. When we start to draw the sides, and we can see like a top or the side, then we start drawing in perspective. Now, right now, this is not entirely accurate, but this would be considered a little bit more 1-point perspective because we have this flat side. When we're drawing in 2-point perspective, it's kind of like you're looking at the corner of a building. So if I look at this cube here, 1-point perspective is kind of like this, where you're seeing just really more of the flat side and just a little bit of the side here. 2-point perspective is kind of like we're looking at the corner of the object and we can see one side of the cube get smaller and then the other side gets smaller towards another point. So all of our buildings are going to start off with the corner of our object here. So any line, like this line and this line that's going horizontal, instead of going straight across, they are going to go to a vanishing point. So for our exercise, I'm going to draw just a faint line here. This is our horizon line. This is our eye level. And I'm going to put a point here and a point here. Now I'm drawing the points really big so you can see them on camera. Really, these points should be very small. They are called vanishing points because they vanish, or that's where everything kind of disappears. So they shouldn't really be this big, but for the sake of you seeing this artwork, I have them fairly large. So if we're going to draw our cube, we're going to start with that center line, and you want to make sure it's straight up and down, because this line, if it's slightly crooked, it's going to make your objects look like they're falling over. This is the corner of our object. Now from the top and bottom of this line, I'm going to draw to my vanishing point on the right, and I'm going to do a dashed line because perspective drawing gets really confusing in terms of what lines you want to keep and what lines you decide to erase. So by having a dashed line, it also gives me less to erase. So this is one side of my cube. I can go ahead and finish that up. So I'm going to line up my ruler to this vanishing, or not to this vanishing, to this vertical line. And I'm going to pull it back, and I want to make sure my ruler stays parallel to that line. And I can, let's say we're going to close it here, which means I can close this up. This is going to be one side of my cube, and then that center line that I started at, so this is my center line that I started with, I'm going to draw to my other vanishing point. So I'll line this up. I'm going to line up my ruler onto this side, making sure it's parallel to that line, and I'm going to slowly and carefully pull that ruler back. I can close this up. Okay. So my lines are slowly slanting down towards that vanishing point. Any line that used to be horizontal, which is a line that goes straight across, they have to go to the vanishing point now. So if I wanted to draw some stripes onto this side of my block, they have to line up to the vanishing point here. If I want to bring out another line, I have to make sure my ruler is lined up to my vanishing point. Same thing again. Make sure it's lined up to my vanishing point. And all these lines have to go to that area. They can't go just anywhere. That's what makes it 2-point perspective. So there's above and below. We're going to stick to just this for right now so that you can, we can show you what else you can do with this cube.